All right, let's get reaction now. I'm joined on the line from Johannesburg by ANC Chief Whip Jackson Mthembu. Jackson, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. If you listen to what Media Monitoring Africa is saying about government not doing enough to protect journalists, what do you say as the governing party?
Well, first of all, we know that charges have been instituted against this group called BLF. And we are hopeful, and as ANC we have said, those people who are intimidating and threatening journalists, those who are insulting and assaulting journalists, they are indeed acting against the realm of our constitution, and they are acting in a criminal way. They must be arrested without any delay. We also know that the minister has also said so, that they will be arrested, and we believe that our South African police services are acting in arresting these people without any delay.
Now, Jackson, if you look at weekend talks around the Media Appeals Tribunal and the establishment of it from the ANC's policy conference, some would argue that the ANC is in itself trying to censor the media.
But, well, let's first start with what the representative from Media Africa Monitoring has said. In no way and nowhere has the ANC in its document said government must regulate media. Let's just first start there. So this is totally a fabrication. No way has the ANC said government, or the ANC for that matter, must determine what should be the content of what media produces. No way in our document. All that the ANC has said is that we are not happy with the self-regulation in the media space, which has now been called co-regulation. We are saying when we complain about media excesses, particularly print media, we have no confidence in the system of holding print media accountable. That's why we're saying as the African National Congress, we must then institute an inquiry in Parliament on what is the best way to hold media accountable. By the way, media has serious influence in all sectors of our society. It has serious influence on everyone. It can speak about everyone. It can speak about every organization. It can speak about government. How do you hold this body with such influence accountable? We are saying it cannot hold itself accountable. There must be a mechanism. Our view is that there must be an inquiry in Parliament on how best to hold the media accountable. Of course, the ANC will be coming from an angle that says you need an independent mechanism to hold the media accountable. Not a government mechanism, not a mechanism where government regulates the media space. No, it is not true. We are saying we need an independent mechanism that holds the media accountable, not self-regulation. And again, people who can assist us and assist South Africa to come at a conclusion on this particular matter is our Parliament that has been elected by all people of South Africa.
Yeah. Now, Jackson, let's go back to the BLF and what they're arguing in court. They say that if journalists can go and protest outside the Gupta's household, then why can't they go and protest outside journalists' houses? And arguing that they have a right to actually do so. Has the ANC, or are you considering perhaps actually having a meeting with BLF about this, since some media organizations still believe the ANC and government is not doing enough?
Well, I don't think that a meeting with people who are engaged in criminal activities will assist South Africa. The first thing that we need to do, even those who go and protest in any houses of any citizens of our country, they must also be subjected to the same treatment that BLF must be subjected to by our police. For instance, if some people decide to come to the house of Jackson Mthembu and protest at the house of Jackson Mthembu, in my view, I am not a state institution. In fact, if you are to protest anywhere, you also need permission to do so from our police services. They must agree. They must also say how they are going to police such a legal mechanism of protest. In the case of the protestation and the harassment and the intimidation of our journalists, there was no permission granted, first of all, to BLF. Secondly, no permission could have been granted because Bruce and all the journalists are individual citizens of South Africa. They are not institutions. So therefore, you cannot direct whatever views you have to my family or to the family of Bruce. If you need to direct anything, direct it to an institution and get a permission to do so. In the same way as we will condemn any attempt to intimidate any family or any individual in South Africa, we condemn in the strongest terms the intimidation of journalists, because that one also goes to the heart of our constitution. You are saying these journalists should not enjoy free expression and inform South Africa of what is happening in their own country. They must be intimidated. They must be fearful. They therefore should not write without any prejudice anything that they want to write because they feel intimidated.
Yeah.
That is in fact threatening our very constitution. That is threatening our democracy. The ANC condemns this, and indeed we are saying our police and our government must act with speed on this criminal tendency of BLF.
All right, thanks so much for that. Appreciate it. ANC Chief Whip Jackson Mthembu.